What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. Today I am going to show you on how to create a realistic head bobbing effect. It's going to be a very easy to follow, so let's get started. Alright, so you can see I am here using the first person template. So if I press play, as you can see when I move my character, the camera just, is still like floating, and it does look good, but we could make it look better by adding head bobbing, which will basically will add the movement of the head, moving up and down as we are walking more realistically. So the trick that we are going to be using today is literally attach the camera into a body which will be having the realistic head bobbing effect. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So what we have to do is import a body which will basically have a walking animation, so its head will also be animated. So in this case, what I'm going to do is just import the third person template because I will have access to the mannequins. So we can go into the content browser, click add, and add a feature or content back. In my case, it will be the third person template, and add it to the project. Now, of course, you don't need to use specifically the third person template. You could have your own simple model that will be animated, right? But in my case, this will just work for me. Now let's go to the content, and what we can do is delete the third person folder because we don't need the third person blueprint or inputs or whatsoever. We only want the characters folder, so you can see, which will contain the mannequins for Unreal Engine 5, and under animations, many, we will have here the walk animation that we want, as you can see. So we're going to be attaching the camera into the player's head, so it will have the realistic bobbing effect, which will be very cool. So what we need to do is go ahead and add the character into the first person blueprint. So let's go into the first person character and open up the blueprint. And of course, you don't need to use specifically the first person template blueprint. Use whatever first person character you're using, and probably your camera setup will be very similar. We just have the camera right under the capsule component, nothing crazy. Okay, so in my case, I am going to use this mesh, which is empty, and use it for my character. You can also just go ahead and select the parent, which in my case will be the capsule component, and just add it now as skeletal mesh. But in my case, there's already a mesh that I can use. Okay, so let's go ahead and select here the Manny or Queen, it doesn't really matter, and skeleton. In my case, I'll use the Manny simple, and I am going to place it in the correct place. So -89 on the Z, so it will be aligned, and then in rotation -90, so he will be looking forward. Okay, so now the player is there. Great. So let's quickly compile and save, but we need to attach the camera into this head. So let's just get the camera and drag it to make it a child of this mesh. Now it will be in the exact same position. So, but now the thing is that if we select the first person camera, because it is a child of the mesh, we have access to the parent sockets, which are basically all of the bones. So we can just search for the head bone and it will be attached. Now, so you can see that the rotation has just been messed up. So we're gonna just reset here the location and rotation with these two buttons, and then just with the rotation tool, just rotate it around 90 degrees like this, and then another 90 degrees like this will be perfectly positioned. And then we're gonna bring this a bit forward, okay? Maybe not so forward, I think like this, it will be pretty cool. So of course, now if we press play, we have our body, we look down. But first of all, it's pretty cool because now we have a body. Now don't worry, you could, if you don't want to see the body, you can just go and disable the visibility over here, but in my case, I'm gonna leave it. And then now we have to animate this mesh because if not, well, it will not have the bobbing effect. So what we're going to do is go into the characters folder where we have all of the animations, which will be many, and now we have all this stuff here. What we're going to do is create a new blend space so we can transition from the idle animation into the walk animation. So let's just right click, go to animation, legacy, let's create a blend space 1D. In this case, let's select the SK mannequin for the whole body skeleton, and let's just rename this to be the body blend space 1D, and let's open this up. Now we have to specify the horizontal axis, so the name will be the speed, and then the minimum speed will be 0, and the max speed will be the movement of our character. In this case, it is 600, but let me drop it down to 450 because it will look a bit cooler. I just want to walk, not run. So let me now set this accordingly to our max walk speed. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just find the auto animation for Manny, which will be MM. It doesn't really matter if you use Manny Queen. And then the walk will be MM walk forward. And now if I hold control, as you can see, as the speed variable increases along the horizontal axis, we can see that it will transition from the idle to walk animation. So now I can save that, close it, and go back here, and we just real quick have to create an animation blueprint. This will be again with the body SK mannequin skeleton, and it will be called ABP_body. Let's open this up. We just need to find the body blend space in the asset browser, drag it, connect it to the result, and now depending on the speed, it will basically go ahead and transition and change the animation. In this case, we want to set the speed to whatever we are in the player, right, while we play the game. So let's right click and promote this into a variable, and now in the update we are going to get the velocity of the owner, okay, and because this is a vector, we can use the vector length node, and it will convert to a float, and then we can just set the speed to be whatever it is every frame, so it will update. And now, very important, we have to select the mesh and just change it to be the ABP body that we just created. And now, as you can see, when we move, we will have that realistic head bobbing effect. And of course, because we are controlling the camera, Unreal Engine by default will smooth out the movement, which is really cool. So basically the head bobbing effect is done. It's not exactly very noticeable, but it's exactly what we need to make it realistic. It's actually pretty noticeable if you play the game a bit more. And of course, if you look down, you also see your body animating, which is pretty cool, but of course you can just hide it if you don't want to. So that's it, guys. If you found this tutorial helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. Remember that the project files will be available in my Patreon YouTube members, so check it out. Join my Discord server, follow me on my socials, and now, yes, with all that said, bye bye.